Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. I'm Ruth Carter, the Liberty Coach, and I'm here with another Parenting Live, a special one because I have a special friend, a special associate of mine in the NLP industry who's here today to give us 6 mind hacks to overcome stress and anxiety. You asked, we're here with solutions. I just want to thank you all for listening, taking the time, and not to worry because we will be playing this again at 8 p.m. for those of you that are at home homeschooling with your children or working at this time. You know, we intend to give you valuable content that will help, change your lives and help you to overcome some of the things that you have so shared with me on a personal level within my inbox. I do appreciate that. We won't ever disclose your name or who you are, but I do say if you want to continue to share your parenting dilemmas with me, you can do that at ruth@thelibertycoach.com, or you can, continue to send me messenger emails or on Instagram. You can also hit me up on LinkedIn as well. I'm happy to help and kind to find the experts in the industry as well as myself to help you overcome these mind hacks. So before I introduce my guest, he is phenomenal. He is a wonderful person all the way from Abu Dhabi. We are in 2 different time zones, and hence why I'm coming to you a lot earlier. But it is so worth it just to have him on this platform. I'm going to share a little snippet of who he is before I continue with his fabulous introduction, because he just needs it, because that's the type of person he is. So just bear with me 1 second while I get the intro video ready. Here you go.
Today, our speaker tonight has entertained audiences in London, Muscat, Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Kuwait, Bahrain, and Uganda. And adding to the GAA to the list of audiences tonight, I'd like to invite Muneer Al-Busaidi.
My career to date, just after university, has over 16 years of influence, persuasion, and client acquisition.
He is an amazing person, and that his goal is to change people's lives.
He has surprised me on countless occasions with his passion, with his enthusiasm.
I think that he can help a lot of you, really.
He will definitely make improvements in your life for you.
He's going to help a lot of people in the future.
Always ready to give all his heart to other people to help.
He's having a lot of energy, a lot of motivational skills.
Would you agree that the more energy and enthusiasm that you put into something, the greater the output?
Yeah! Everything about him, his energy, his ability to attract people, he's a master of persuasion.
You can always be inspired by the videos that Muneer does.
I love his videos, I love his energy.
World champion, the world champion of public speaking, 11-time best-selling author. He is the best-selling author of a number of books. He's worked with some of Bollywood's biggest celebrities. He's the founder of Hypnosis Training Academy. Success leaves clues. How not to be a victim by using a system. You need to plug the leak before you fill the tub. Over 90% of what you portray is not about the words you say. Know where you are before you can go far. You know when they say nothing, sometimes it means nothing. But sometimes it means everything.
You had Bill Clinton open up the inauguration, who considered inviting him back. However, 2 terms of presidency can't beat amazingly good looks. So,
whatever you do, Imran, do not pursue a career in radio.
He comes to the stage, he's funny. He's the guy where you will have learning and fun at the same time.
Excellent. So without further ado, I'm going to be Muneer Al-Busaidi to you, Al-Busaidi to you. Hello, Muneer.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm excellent. I'm excellent. It's such an honor, such a pleasure to be here, and I love what you're doing. I've been loving what you've been doing. You've got such a warm heart, reaching out to contribute to people. So it's such an honor to be here and be a part of this.
I'm so happy that you've come to join and take some time out of your busy schedule, because you have literally been doing videos to help people across the world since this pandemic started, like every single day. Can you share with my audience what you actually do?
So yeah, right now we're coming up 300 days in a row going live every single day, and I figured it's one of those times where people really need that assistance. People really need that help. I mean, I've been going through my own kind of challenges, and so I was like, there are people over there that don't have some of these tools, so let me just go out there every single day and I'll figure it out. It's been a journey of growth, but like you said, like literally every single day, I've kind of wanted to go out there and just a little bit like you're doing. You wanted to give back to people, to help people, so that we get through this together, and that's what it's all been about. Yeah.
Excellent, because I was doing parenting classes for parents in school that were having some different challenges. I've been doing it with my colleague Michelle Burton for a number of years, about 5 years now. So it's like our little audience started growing, but I used to just keep that platform in the classroom. But as you know, we were literally last year, March, we normally run our programs from April to July. It was a case of, right, we have locked down, we can't hold the parenting programs or anything like that. So I kind of felt compelled in my heart, because I kept getting messages, oh, Ruth, this person needs some help. Ruth, this one happened. And then with COVID as well, some of the parents were getting sick and things were just like up in the air. So I thought, all right, let me get the parenting manual out and do some of the stuff on, things that I liked. And then it kind of grew and developed from there. And I suppose in your industry, it might have been a bit similar, would you say?
100%. I mean, before the whole pandemic, I was speaking every single weekend. I was working and like my day job, and then every single weekend I was speaking in different places every single weekend, and then I'd coach evenings, etc. But literally, when the pandemic happened, work had gone somewhere else. The speaking gigs had, obviously the live speaking gigs had stopped, but people's needs had increased. Like I couldn't get in front of them physically, and I always had a bit of a kind of thing about going live, but at the same time I was like, okay, I teach people to push their comfort zones. Let me practice what I preach. Let me tell people about the power of habits. Let me practice what I preach. So I said, okay, I'm going to just do this myself. And so like you said, it's out of a need for myself, but also of other people. More importantly, like people before needed these tools, but then with the pandemic, that need grew even more so. And so I had to figure out a way. So, yeah.
So I'm so happy that you could, answer this call, because like I said, I've been getting messages for some of the parents that I have previously worked with. They're going through challenging times. And one in particular struck a real chord with me, because I use NLP as part of, as we do with what we're doing. And this particular parent was like, Ruth, I really need your help. So I would be talking, conversing, and then one day she was like, Ruth, I'm having like issues with PTSD, and she was literally on her way into an ambulance. And I was like, what happened? And she just got to a breaking point. She couldn't cope. Gave her some coaching in that respect, but she just got to that point where she just thought that nothing's working.
Yeah.
And you know, when you get to that brink where you feel nothing's working, that's what's going to come out of it. But I'm really glad to say that she went to hospital, she got some treatment, and she's now home with the kids, and her mindset has changed. You know, with all the tools and techniques that are there that are offered by NLP practitioners or psychologists, they do work, CBT, but you have to use them. When you get to that point where you give up, you get the result of that giving up state.
Yeah.
So what I had said was my intention was to get more NLP trainers, master practitioners on my platform so she can get a different variety. But it's not just for her in particular. I thought it could be for anyone because, you know, our news may be different to the news you're hearing in Abu Dhabi, but it's all the same. It's all with this CV-19, all with the vaccine, all with this confusion of information, the blame game, it's your fault, no, it's you know, all of that. I wanted for us, parent to parent, because you are a father, is it, of two beautiful children?
That's right. Yeah, two kids. Yeah, two beautiful kids.
and you're doing the homeschooling. You're not just an entrepreneur. You're actually a parent who's doing the homeschooling, knows the struggles. And I just want us to be able to talk parent to parent, but using our knowledge and our skills to enhance other people.
Yeah, and I think it's beautiful that you kind of mentioned that. And you know, one of the things that maybe I give a little bit of a background, because it's like you said, yes, I'm a parent, but more than anything, I've been through a lot of these like crazy struggles over this last year. And crazily enough, before the pandemic and everything, yes, I used to coach people. Yes, I used to help people. Yes, I used to help others with stress and anxiety. However, I didn't have a crazy need to use it on myself. However, over this last year, you know, for example, when I lost my job, when my family got COVID, and not just got COVID, because you see in the UAE or in Abu Dhabi, when if one person in the household gets tested positive for COVID, they take them away into isolation and put them in isolation. And so my wife got tested, but I hadn't at that time. And so, you know, I've been through times where, you know, I'd lost my job. I had to run a seminar. I'm trying to build my business. My wife gets taken away into isolation, maybe because of the timing that I got tested. However, the next few days I came with a fever. So I think I had COVID. So there I am. I'm trying to run a seminar. I've got COVID. I've lost my jobs. I got two kids running around, and like all of a sudden I have to say to myself, okay, I really have to put everything I've learned to the test. And so I'm not just using the techniques that I had learned in NLP, but I started doing something else in NLP. You'll know, Ruth, called modeling. I'm looking at people that have achieved success, how they've overcome stress, anxiety. And I'm starting to say, okay, let me try this one out. Let me try this one out. Let me try this technique out. And so I'm trying out different techniques, and I'm seeing which ones worked for me and which ones made the biggest difference in my life. And that's kind of what I wanted to share today. Like, what are some of the techniques that made the biggest difference for me that I've tested as a parent, as someone that was going through high amounts of stress at one particular time. And that I've helped other people with using these exact same techniques, and they've managed to overcome some of the difficulties in their life. So I hope that it will make a big difference in yours. And I'm picking simple stuff that you can apply today.
Oh, we're so looking forward to this. Is what we need. This is what we need over here in the UK. Some people are just going literally out of their minds because doesn't seem to be any end to this situation. But the best thing we can do is keep what's going on up here really stable, really function for our own production, so that in our own households, you know, there's those good feelings going through instead of the sad ones. So I'm going to open up the floor to you, Muneer. Take it away. Share with us these 6 hacks.
Okay, cool. So I guess before I get started, I think the first thing that I'd like to say is, you know, a lot of different speakers will tell you, oh, your mind is this big supercomputer, you know, you can get what you ask of it. And I'd agree. Yes, your mind is a huge supercomputer. But if you know anything about computers, you can have the most powerful hardware, the most powerful equipment. But if you're running software that's old, right? Like if you have the most powerful supercomputer, but you're running like Windows 95, it's going to have problems when you put a bigger load on it. If you come across a bigger challenge, that old software isn't going to run. And that's the same with our mind. Our mind may be very powerful, but sometimes we're running old software, and we need to upgrade because the challenges that we're facing right now have been upgraded. And so we need to upgrade our thinking to fall in line with some of the challenges that we're facing. So how do you upgrade your thinking? How do you upgrade your software? How do you upgrade the mind? Well, just like you'd upgrade a computer, it's based on what do you input into the computer that programs the computer. So what are you inputting into your mind? So the first hack that I have is asking powerful questions before you go to bed. I want you to remember this phrase, and I highly encourage you to write this phrase down because it made the biggest difference in my life, okay? Questions are the answer. Let me repeat that again. Questions are the answer. And here's what I mean. Have you ever in your life, you know, someone, and Ruth, maybe you can answer this. You can be a proxy for everybody. Have you ever in your life, you know, someone asked you a question and you didn't know the answer, and, you know, you're just like, what is that? Or what is it? What is it? What is it? And then, you know, you're sitting there like 4 hours later, maybe you're in the shower, you're like, and then ding, the answer comes to you. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, and so the reason I asked that question is because sometimes when we ask a powerful question, what happens is our mind, even if we answer it, our mind still works on it in the background. Does this make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. And so what many of us have been doing, and what I was doing, I was very guilty of, is before we go to bed, do you have a habit before you go to bed by any chance, Ruth?
Yeah, I like to meditate. I like to just so that I can get a better quality sleep.
Beautiful.
So I might listen to some hertz levels and just allow that to help me drift to sleep.
Nice. And you can see that's made a big difference in your life because, you know, you're out there, you're helping other people. What you might notice is sometimes what some people do is they like to look at the news before they go to bed. Would you agree that the news is generally, when you go to the news, do they have an abundance of good news, or is it stuff that's going to worry you?
It's bad news.
Bad news, right? 100%. And so imagine you go to bed and you're like, oh my God, this is happening. How is that going to affect me? And people go, oh no, what else could go wrong? And literally before they go to bed, they've asked themselves these questions, right? Now, they'll forget about that thing, but then as they sleep, what questions are being processed in their mind? All the negative ones.
Yeah.
And so what happens is then 8 hours later, someone will wake up and they feel stressed and they don't even know why. Right? Yeah. Now, I want you to contrast this. And this is something that I do with my wife. Every single night, and I've done it every single night since the lockdown happened, is before I go to bed, we text each other or we say to each other, whatever, but we write it down. What are the three things that I'm most grateful for today? Okay. Now, here's why this is so powerful, right? Imagine you say, what are the 3 things that I'm most grateful for today? When you go to bed, what happens in your mind if you're processing that question? Like, you write down the first 3 things that come to mind, but in your mind, you're like, was it the smile that my kids gave me, or was it the time that I laughed? Which one was better? And it starts to compare all the good things that are in your mind that have happened to you.
Yeah.
And so while you sleep, 8 hours of processing good versus processing bad. And what effect do you think that's going to have on waking up versus someone that watches the news?
You're going to wake up feeling a lot better within yourself. You're going to actually have that heart of gratitude.
Exactly.
Disposition.
And the crazy thing is, because it was 8 hours ago that you asked that question, you forget. But have you ever woken up and just been happy for no reason?
Yes, I have.
And have you ever been woken up and been stressed for no reason? Has that ever happened to you?
Yes.
And have you ever had something worry you just before you went to bed, and then when you woke up, you still felt bad, or you felt? Has that ever happened to you?
Yeah, and also a bad dream. A bad dream has made me wake up feeling guilty.
Yeah. And guess what? Dreams are very often, I don't know the science behind it, but very often dreams are us processing what's happened to us during the day. And the biggest components of what has happened to us in the day are what happened in the morning and what happened in the evening, the beginning and end, right? Those are the things that get processed significantly. So stack the decks in your favor. So that's my first mind hack is ask yourself powerful questions.
I like that. Stack the decks in your favor. That's a good nugget, actually.
Yeah, stack the decks in your favor, 100%. Like, you know, a lot of people may or may not realize like what, you know, oh, hypnosis is crazy, but really we hypnotize ourselves on a daily basis, right? And what your thoughts are hypnotizing you. And if you're just processing negative, it starts to end up in negative. Now, just to give you, I want to just troubleshoot this. Can you do this every single day? 100%. The day I lost my job, I did it. The day that that someone very close to me passed away, I did it. The day that I had to deliver a seminar and my wife was taken away last minute and was, you know, like really tough, I did it. Because at the very least, like, you could just be like, you know what, I'm healthy. I whatever it is, you can find something to be grateful for. Whatever it is. Sometimes you'll have to say it through gritted teeth. I get it. But nonetheless, you say it. And it will help you. Like, if it forces you to. When someone passed away that was very close to me and my family, I was like, you know, I'm like, what am I grateful for? I'm like, nothing. I'm not grateful for anything. And then I was like, no, but really, if I had to pick something. And then I just thought, you know what? It's so beautiful that our family supports each other through this time. And I was like, I was grateful for that. And I found such love through it. Does this make sense?
It makes absolute sense. You know, just recently, a friend of mine, her mum passed away a little while back, but she had a moment where she was thinking about her mum. And I put in the comments that, you know, I was focusing on the good things that her mum used to do. Like, her mum was a nurse, but she always shared health information, health tips for me and my daughter. And I kind of put that in my comment to her, just as a reminder that although her mum's not here and she is sorely missed, but I wanted to focus on some of the good. Just like what you're saying, I think it's about reframing it. It's about, yes, I'm sad. Yes, I miss her. But these are the things I can recall that were of benefit to me. And I appreciate that as part of her being, if that makes sense.
Yes, 100%. And I choose to do that. That's like focusing on those things that those moments that you're grateful for with a person helps also to grieve. So yeah. Okay, so So that's number one. Like, focus on your input. What are you inputting into your mind? And there's a number of different questions that you can ask yourself, but let's just keep it super simple, because I want you to have I want everyone to have actionable steps that you can apply from today and get results moving forward. And so that's the first one. What are you inputting into your mind? Now, the second one. Okay. So Ruth, you're going to be my proxy for the audience as well.
Yes,
okay,
that's fine.
So Ruth, please do not imagine a black cat. Okay, do not imagine me stroking a black cat. Like, stop it. Don't imagine it. Try not to, like, try really hard not to, don't. And
you know what's happening, don't you, Muneer? And I'm sure this is happening for other people. Soon as you mentioned don't and the black cat, black cat, they just said, don't imagine me, so I know you, Muneer, so I know what you look like in my mind, and then all of a sudden I'm seeing you, and as much, you can't resist that.
Yeah. Wait, okay. I had a little sound effect I was trying to play for you. Anyway, yeah. So and this is based on. Oh, there you go. There's my little meow cat. Cat ran away somewhere. So there's something called what we resist persists. Okay, what you resist will persist, and when we try not to think about sweets, what are you going to think about? Sweets. When you try and think about, don't get stressed, don't get stressed, don't get stressed, don't get stressed, what are you thinking about? Stress.
Yeah.
If I also another side point, if I said, think of it from the perspective of your mind, right? If I said to you, I don't want to have chicken, would you know what I want to have? What
you don't want?
What is not chicken? Everything in the world is not chicken. This pen is not chicken. This water is not chicken. Everything in the world is not chicken. So number one, you want to let your mind know what it is that you want. However, also as a part of this, when I say what resists persists, sometimes when we try to deny our stress or anxiety and like pretend it doesn't exist, it just makes it worse. It lets it linger on a bit longer. So this technique is going to sound absolutely crazy, okay, for everybody. This next technique that I'm going to share. However, if you keep doing what you've always done, you'll keep getting what you always got. And I want you to I'm going to give you a toolbox of different things that you can try out that will make a big difference for you. So when I talk about not resisting stress, one thing that you can do is, rather than saying, oh, don't be stressed, don't be stressed, don't be stressed, is schedule your stress. Now, it's going to sound really crazy, but instead of trying to deny yourself stress and then ending up having 24 hours of stress 7 days a week, why don't you just schedule 15 minutes a day, let's say, for example. And in those 15 minutes, from 1 o'clock to 1:15, if you're going to do something, do it properly. like for that 1 o'clock to 1:15, go, you should be like, oh my God, making dinner, and then, oh my God, it's time for me to stress. Excuse me, everyone. Go into a corner and go, I have to, and then at the 1:15, it goes, oh, okay, my stress time is over. And that's it. You're done. You've let it out. Like, get it out your system. But if you're going to do it properly, do it for 15 minutes and then let it go. And then if stress comes up, you just be like, you know what? I'll handle it tomorrow at my stress time. I know it sounds like really crazy. However, for some people, we need to have a emotional release. Like, so for some people, it's like you have a glass of water and the water is full up to the brim, and then you try and add more water and it just starts to spill over. Why? Because there's no room for any more. But if you just tip stuff out, then you can collect more. And so one technique, and I've tried this, it works pretty good, was to let out stress. And think of it this way, right? Many people on here might be parents, right? And as parents, you have children. And what do children do when they're really upset? They throw a
tantrum.
Yeah. And then after the tantrum, what happens? It's like nothing ever happened. No worries, no drama. Yeah. So there is some sort of like little humans are designed to kind of like let everything go, and then okay, cool.
Do you know what? That sounds a little bit like a pressure cooker.
Yes.
You know, like when you, like, you know, my cultural background, you know, the older people would put peas in the pressure cooker. And then all of a sudden, once the pressure's built up, the top bit starts to whistle.
Yeah.
And it starts to release.
Yeah.
That's what that kind of, you know, gave me that kind of thought as you were saying that process. Because when you were saying about setting a time for stress, because I have to be honest, I've not done that, because I've noticed that stress can just drift out and seep out into the day, and then it's an hour, and then it's 2. That's long. So this 15 minutes sounds great, and it sounds like when you're, you know, you're letting it, you're saving it until that pressure builds, and then.
Yeah, exactly. And you just let it out. Like, you've got to find some way to just let it out. Now, for some people, this will be like amazing. I saw there's a guy called, I think, Osho. He does this dynamic meditation, and literally that there is a part of that where you just let your body go crazy, go scream into a pillow if you want or whatever, and then go with then do your meditation or whatever. But it can be very powerful for people. So you just want to find a way to let go. But
can I share something, Muneer?
Please.
I was the kind of parent who held on to my stress for a very long time and never had them outlets. And one day, where I live, there's some like fields and stuff, and a lot of farmland like at the back of where I live. So I took a drive with my kids into the car. We parked up on the side of the lane and we started running into someone's field. We got to the middle, right? And I just started screaming. And then my kids got involved. They were screaming, right? And I reminded them of this time. And I said, what was you screaming about? They were like, I don't know, but you were screaming, so we got involved. So sometimes we can teach our children ways to release stress as well.
I mean, to be honest with you, a lot of children already know how to. They do it. That's why we talk about the tantrum. But it's true that, like, the thing is, if we don't do something like that, what language do people use? I've had it up to here. It's just I've got all this pent up emotion. In the language that we use, you can see that people are just not having a release. And so sometimes, for some people, you need a bit of a release, because if you don't find that release, what happens? You're sitting with the family and you snap at them over something that happened 3 hours ago. Even though they weren't responsible, they were happy, they were, it starts to that pressure starts to kind of like seep out in the wrong places. But if you schedule it, that's the right place. You have a right place, a right time, and for a short time, and that's it. And then anytime you stress comes up, you just go, no, you know what? I'm gonna wait till my scheduled time tomorrow of stress.
Yeah.
So it's again. What I'm doing is giving you a buffet of different techniques that I've seen different people, like very different backgrounds, and this is, as you can see, some of these aren't necessarily NLP. The NLP part aspect of it is I've modeled people that were successful in overcoming stress. What did they do to overcome stress, anxiety? And I've heard this technique, obviously a more complex version, which is the dynamic meditation, which is about an hour with some of this release. But I've heard it helps some people with PTSD. I don't know. I don't have any case studies or anything, but I've heard that it's helped people that have had really big issues with these kind of anxieties. So it can be very, very powerful as well, because the body needs to express. Your mind and your language, it finds ways to express, but our body also needs to express. And so
one of my friends who's a psychologist, I was at a point, this is in December, I wasn't well and I was feeling all kinds of way. And then they were like, Ruth, I beg you, use your NLP skills and that. Allow the emotions to run through you. And sometimes we get the emotions, but we allow it to stop somewhere in our body, and we don't allow the emotions to run through us, so that we get to experience what we experience, acknowledge that we are experiencing, but recognize we do not have to hold on to it, that we can let. And you know what, it did make a difference, because I just allowed what I was feeling and I just let it run through me.
Yes. Yeah, very, very powerful. Nice. All right, excellent. Okay, so let me go on to number 3. Number three is quite a simple one, but I don't want people to underestimate it. So number 3 is transform the energy, and here's what I mean by that. For example, if you are stressed about your health, that can be bad on its own if it's not doing anything. However, if you use it as fuel for something, it can be so powerful. Because why do we quit smoking? Why does someone quit smoking, lose weight, work on their relationship or anything like that? Why do people do that? Because of some pain, quite often, a big reason that's going on in their life. So if you're stressed, that you can use that as fuel to do something. If you've wanted to quit smoking, use it as fuel. Use the worry as fuel. Use the worry to figure, like, if you're worried about relationship, use that worry to figure out or get some counseling or find some courses or work on something together. But you can use that and transform that energy into something very, very productive and powerful. I've done that a number of times in my life. When I was at one point, I was vaping, and I was, I got really worried about my health, and I said, okay, I'm going to use that worry to fuel me to make that change. So simple to understand. However, I don't want you to underestimate that there is fuel, and you can use that fuel to achieve something. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It's like turning that energy into something that's going to give you, the person, some gain. That works well when you've got deadlines. Some people, like they say, procrastinate. I don't know. Sometimes some people are blocked. They don't have the information that they want coming through. For example, I had to make an insert into a friend's book, but my head was all over the place. Like, I was like, what do you want to talk about business? I just couldn't think straight. So the deadline, say, was like the 25th of January. Just say, for example, right? It's the 23rd. I'm like, I still haven't read anything. And what you do at that point is you have to turn it around. If you want to make your deadline on time, you turn it around. And even though you feel blocked, for some reason, you've got to change what's kind of getting in front of you. And it's like you do put it behind you to kind of push you forward to give you the result that you so desire. It's just like in your mind, it's like, yeah, I want it, but no, I don't. So I managed to do it. And then, do you know what I did? After the deadline, after reading it and stuff, then I was like, can I add something? Because there was something I wanted to add. But because, you know, you've got like word count, I didn't add it. And I sent it in and I was like, oh, I wish. And then she said, yeah. And once I had added it, she was like, you know what? So many people are going to get so much out of it. So I don't want us to minimize what we have to offer when we're in those times.
Yes. Oh, love it. No, nice. Yeah, that's a beautiful example of taking that pressure and making it into something at some point. It's like that pressure cooker example. At some point, the pressure builds up, and if you can utilize it for something, then for something productive, that is going to allow you to achieve something. We're going to turn your stress into productivity. How do we turn that stress, that anxiety, into productivity and achieve something out of it? And so that's the point of that.
Can I also add? It could also be added to even preparing a meal, right? Some people want to cook real nutritious, but the time's going, oh, the day's gone. And then as soon as that kind of thought process is like, oh, what am I going to do? And then, you know what? When you do all sit down and have that meal, everyone say, oh, how good it was. And you'd be like, do you know what? You didn't even think there was anything to it. But do you know what I want to kind of highlight to the parents is when those experiences come up for whatever the reason is, the results that come from it, everyone around you, including yourself, will benefit.
Yeah, 100%. Nice. Okay, so I have the next one, which is physiology. So let's do one thing. You'll be my proxy as well in this one. So Ruth, if I said to you that there is a person in the next room and hypothetically $1,000 to your favorite charity, describe their body language because they are depressed or stressed. Now, would you say that their head was up high or their head is down low?
Their head would be down low.
Their head is going to be down low. Are their shoulders open or are their shoulders slumped?
They'll be slumped.
The shoulders would be slumped. Are their hand movements fast or are they slow?
Probably slow.
Okay.
Slow.
Yeah, slow. Now, here's the thing, right? We're in different countries. You're in the UK, I'm in Abu Dhabi. Would you agree that most likely, depending wherever we are, like there and here, people are going to be depressed the same way? Would you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I want you to contrast this. Let's say you see somebody and they have, let's say they're playing football, okay? There's a guy, he's playing football. It's the last minute, it's 0-0, and he goes and it's 30 seconds left, 20 seconds, 15 seconds, and he kicks the ball and it goes into the net. And he is now ecstatic. Is his head low?
No, it'd be high.
Okay. Are his shoulders up or are his shoulders slumped?
They'll be up. They'll be out.
They'll be up and out. Are his movements going to be really slow or are they going to be really fast?
They'll be fast. He'll probably go, ooh.
Exactly. Would you say his body is open or is it really closed?
It'd be open.
It'd be open.
Yeah.
Would you agree that in the UK, as well as in Abu Dhabi, as well as Australia, as well as China, as well as South Africa, as well as Kenya, as well as South America, that when people celebrate, if they were scoring a goal, they would do the same? Would you agree?
Yeah.
Okay, so it doesn't matter where people are in the world. I've asked this. I've spoken to over 85 nationalities. It doesn't matter where people are in the world. Our body, when people are depressed, are very similar, and our body, when people are happy, are very open, right? And very, very similar. Now, why do I ask you this? Because we all believe that our emotions can create our physiology. But did you know that your physiology can create your emotions?
Is that like where the mind and the body are linked?
Yes, 100%. So here's the thing. Why? So instead of being like just if we want to change how we feel, we can change how we use our body, and ultimately that will change how we feel. There's a great TED talk by Amy Cuddy, and she talks about the power of something called power posing. Power posing, they've literally talked about it, and this is called the champ. Yeah, exactly. This or this. This is the champion pose, right? When you do this, like this is the champion pose, or the superhero pose, which is opening up your body. When you do that, your cortisol levels go down, which is your stress hormone. Your confidence levels go up, and so much more. So if you, but however, I want you to just for 2 seconds, okay? I want you to go like, and then bring it down, okay? So just like very quickly, just go 2 seconds. Just.
All right.
Did that really like make a big difference in your life?
No.
No, because it was too short, right? So what happens is some people will go, "Hey, I did it. It didn't work." You know, like, you know. But you see, the difference is we need time to let your emotions catch up with your body. It needs time. So when you stand like this, if you did it for, I think it's, 2.5 to 5 minutes, or like this, then you'll start to feel the emotions. However, if you just went, it doesn't work, it's not gonna happen, right? Like, it's just not gonna work. And even more so for this next technique, which is again with the physiology. There's a guy in India called Dr. Madan Kataria, and he developed a very cool type of yoga. In fact, let me do this. Complete this sentence for me, okay, Ruth? Laughter is the best.
Laughter is the best joy you can experience.
Okay, all right. I was looking for the laughter is the best medicine, but that's fine. That's fine too.
All right, laughter is the best medicine.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, did you see? I posted yesterday actually. Me laughing. My brother made me laugh. I haven't had this laugh for so long, and it's something I do enjoy. But my brother sent me this video. I couldn't get through it. I was laughing. I was sending them as WhatsApp, but because they took the video down, I just listened to me laughing over and over again, and it brought back the same feeling.
It's so good. So laughter is so good for you in so many levels. Now, it again reduces your cortisol levels, which is your stress hormones. It increases your happy hormones. It increases oxygenation in your blood. It improves your mood and reduces depression, increases happiness, etc. Laugh. The challenge is most of us don't laugh enough, right? On a day-to-day basis in general. So there's Dr. Madan Kataria invented what is called laughter yoga. And what that is literally the body can't distinguish between what is real and what is sort of created laughter. Does this make sense? So if you sit there and go, I'm going to share with you how to laugh. There's ha ha ha, there's ho ho ho, and there's he he he. Okay, and if you just sat there for a few minutes and went ha 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 ho 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 he 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 ha 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 ha.
It sounds funny.
But because even though you're forcing yourself, you're not laughing at anything in particular. After a few minutes, it becomes real laughter.
Yeah.
Or you get the benefits of laughter.
Can you do it again, please? Can you do it again?
All right, so why don't we do it together? Okay,
Yeah,
let's just
'cause
do it.
I
We're
might
gonna do it.
start laughing though.
Yeah, and that's the point. That's the point. It's if you do it with someone, laughter becomes contagious. So it's kind of one of those fake it till you make it, and it becomes real. And if you do that, by the way, it also burns calories and a whole bunch of amazing benefits for you.
I'm laughing.
Increases your immunity system, a whole bunch. However, just in general makes you happier. So let's just try it for let's just do
Ha
yeah. Ha ha ha, ho ho ho, he he he. And then what you want to do, vary the volume and vary the speed. Okay, so ha ha ha, ho ho ho, he he he, ha ha ha, ho ho ho, he he he, ho ho ho, ha ha
Yes, it's gonna get me going in a minute.
And notice even me and you, there's an afterglow effect
Look, it's
of
bringing
this
tears
smile
of
and
joy to my
happiness.
eyes.
Yeah. And there's this afterglow of happiness, smiling and everything. And notice we started fake. It's and then it starts to jump on real, fake, real, fake, real.
Yeah.
And then it just becomes this happy feeling. And that's so powerful. Again, it's so powerful in training your mind to overcome loads of different things. And it's, some of I get it. Some of the techniques that I'm sharing may seem a bit out there, right? Laughter on your own, for example, may seem a bit out there, or going and being stressed in a room on your own may seem a little bit out there. However, like I said, if you keep doing what you've always done, you'll keep getting what you always got. If you try something new, you'll get new results. And trying these new things and seeing what works for you can be so powerful. And laughter yoga, like they've done numerous scientific studies to prove how effective laughter yoga is. And if you want to go and check it out, but it is so powerful in changing your emotions.
I will be checking that out. I've heard of it and I might have seen the guide, but I've not really followed it. You take on different things, but that one definitely, because I'll share this experience. When I was pregnant with my daughter, because when your hormones are just all over the place, I used to watch Planes, Trains and Automobiles. It's a movie, would make me laugh all the time. So I watched it every day because I was feeling so low, but I watched that video every day and I laughed every day. Even at the beginning of this pandemic, I used to find things to kind of laugh at or whatever, but it did subside. So when something does make me laugh, I'm inclined now to make note of it so that I can rewatch it and have that experience again and again and again.
It's funny you mentioned that, because how it started was I think Dr. Madan Kataria, I believe he had some chronic illness. Like it was really painful and he couldn't sleep, and he was getting to a stage where if nothing gave, he would die from it, basically. And he was in so much pain, but then he started to watch these movies, these comedy movies. And anytime he'd watch them, he'd laugh loads. And when he laughed, he noticed that he'd start to feel better. He'd noticed that he'd be able to sleep a bit longer. And slowly but surely, he started noticing these benefits on his body and on his emotions and on his feeling. And as a result of that, he was like, okay, there's something here and I need to share it with the world. And there's like I said, there's a whole bunch of case studies about laughter yoga. I can't quote them accurately, but I know that there's so many out there that are so powerful, not just in emotions, but in immunity as well, like literally. And that's why they say, laughter is the best medicine, is because it does heal you. It does in so many different ways. So that was number 4, your physiology. So use your body differently. Do things like laughter yoga, which is again using your body differently, but it's using your breathing differently. So that's number 4. And again, just like if your emotions create your physiology creating your emotion. So if your physiology, as in you're laughing, creates your happiness, your emotion, just like it did for us. We did 30 seconds, by the way, not even 30 seconds. We did less than 30 seconds.
Oh.
And we had this like glow afterwards, of a little bit of an afterglow. Imagine if we did it longer. Imagine if we did the 30-minute or 20-minute session. By the way, your belly will hurt. It'll be like you've done an ab workout, but it's so hilarious, one of those sessions. Okay, so that's number 4. Number 5 is breathing, which is, I guess, it's kind of related to laughter, but they'll tell you that there's in any different field, they'll talk to you about how to, when you're going through something, breathe differently, etc. Your breathing again changes your physiology. Now, there's loads of breathing techniques out there. I haven't tried all of them, but I tried Wim Hof's breathing method. I don't know if have you heard of Wim Hof?
No.
Wim Hof is the Iceman. He's he's like won a whole number of set a number of world records, and he's this guy who seemingly crazy, because he just goes in like, those short shorts that and he's in the ice and he's walking around in short shorts, and he can take extreme temperatures and all sorts of things. But he does his this breathing technique, and I tried it, and it makes you feel so calm. It reduces stress, and it's a very different breathing technique. But there's a number of breathing techniques out there that you can try. Wim Hof's is very, very different, in the sense that you have to do some extreme breathing, and then you hold your breath for a long period of time, etc. And then it's like you meditate, and the world goes quiet. It's very cool. So so number 5 is breathing, and try out different breathing techniques and see what effects that has on you. And finally, my number 6, which is something I admire you for doing, and you do very well, is contribution. When we tend to feel better when we do some things for other people. And like you said, this has been a challenging year for so many of us. What has helped me get through it is, we talked about this beginning, I started doing a live video every single day with no fail. That's one of my ways of contributing, helping other people. It's crazy, but if you could be going through a bad day, but if you know that somebody else is going through a bad day, and you call and you check up on the person, and you just say, hey, at a time of isolation, I just want you to know that you're not alone. And letting someone know that, and someone will just be like, thanks for calling, means a lot. I really appreciate it. What's going to happen is they're going to feel better, and you're going to feel better. We have this need to contribute to others that many of us don't acknowledge, and we tend to get into Netflix to pass time, or to busy work, or just managing the stress. But if you could just do something for somebody somewhere, doesn't matter if you know them, you don't know them, whatever, just doing things for people, it'll make you feel so much better. It'll don't want to get into like woo-woo land, but
can I add something to that? Because some people are contributors like ourselves, but some people, I think, over contribute to the point it's a detriment to them. I do think there needs to be some balance with that. Because sometimes, like, you've got children, you need to be giving to them. But like, my kids, they're older, right? So sometimes my daughter will have me running ragged. right?
Yes. Yes.
And I have to say to myself, like in that point, you really take a breath, you know,
Yeah.
do it in your time and stuff. Because I may have a lot of other things. Because my daughter knows I'm busy, so she'll try and schedule. Oh, you're off today. Can we
Yeah.
do this? Oh, you know. So we've kind of had a balance because I'm a carer as well. She has a disability, so
Yes.
as much as she's independent, I still have things to do for her. But we got to manage that time. This is my thoughts. If you're giving out and you're contributing, do it with the right heart. Don't do it as a case of, oh, it's something I have to do. You know, we all have a choice. Because when we get into those kind of negative languages, the contribution, the person might get something, but you don't get that, whatever you're supposed to get. But when you do it with the right kind of attitude, I believe both parties get someone, because you doing those videos every day, you're helping thousands of people, because I've seen your YouTube, it skyrockets up with the subscribers. So therefore, I know deep in my heart, you must be getting something out of it to find the next thing to give, the powerful content that you share.
Yeah. And you know, there's something that interesting that you mentioned, because there are lots of people, like you said, that are just give. And for people that are only give, I would say one thing: allow people to give to you. That is another gift that you can start to do. That is a gift not just for yourself, but for other people. Because if you've only been giving out, see, for some people that haven't been giving, I think you need to give more or contribute more in some way.
Yeah.
And for people that have been only contributing and allow people to contribute to you. Allow yourself to take something in, because then that is a gift that for others, that we, you know, for a helper type personality would is great to learn, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Can I add, like, I'm a carer. I've been a carer, and when I say carer, it's my characteristic. It is my nature. From I was a little girl, I wanted to be a nurse. I wanted to always help people. So all the jobs or the careers I've ever gone down, the nursing, the social work, all those types of things I've kind of gone into has been because of that nature. This is where the issue comes for me. If I get to a point where I no longer care, that now starts to mess with my values.
Yeah.
Because I'm a carer. So when I get to that point, I have to look at myself and go through my thought process, because it's irritating me, so that I can continue to care. Because there are situations that are coming up, you get annoyed, you get frustrated, you get all these negative things, but don't allow any circumstance to interfere with the essence of who you are as a person. I know that's for true for me. I work with young people, disengaged, very hard, challenging, and I care about what I have to contribute and who I am as a person. I do not like being disrespected. When I kind of come up with those things, it is important for me to continue to care through that, so that I can use that nature to bring you over to the side of the respect, because it's sincere, it's genuine, and it is of a good disposition and framework, that where you coming from with the negativity, you can only but conform to the positive, because you've got the negative, which is 1, and the positive is 2. Yeah. So if I'm always coming from that, persona, that actual nature, that's what helps me in my mind to continue doing what I'm doing, even when faced with disrespect, if that makes sense.
Yes, 100%.
So I just wanted to share that with parents, because sometimes we get weary in the well-doing that we're doing for our families, and if it's part of you, whatever your values is, if it's part of you, keep it.
100%. No, I couldn't agree with you more. Thank you. Yeah. So, well, with that, by the way, that's my six mind hacks. I wanted to give something slightly different than because I know you share a number of NLP tools, so I wanted to give a slightly different kind of six mind hacks that I've found, that I've tested out over this last year.
It's excellent, because I know that every parent listening, or any viewer listening to this, can actually use all the tools that you've just shared with us. I know definitely. I'm literally just recently, and I say it's just this week, I think I had a Zoom call on Tuesday regards to breath work. I was asked, and I think I'm going to add the lady on the platform, because I was asked to write a script for an app in terms of meditation, and they know that I work with young people. They said, but could you write something for adults? And I was like, well, I've done some stuff where I think it's on my YouTube, so I was like, yeah, I can just take that up and put it in, so, but, and she asked me, do I know anything about breath work? I said no. So I've got a meeting next week, Thursday, I think, to get some more understanding, because like what you said, it helps with the immunity and stuff like that. I think during this pandemic, people are having a lot of issues breathing, all those types of things. So I thought, you learn something new and see if I can get an understanding, something that can help for me. And as we always do, we always share what we know.
Yes. Yeah. And definitely check out the Wim Hof breathing work and etc. Yeah, and that's part of this kind of whole circle. Hopefully, sharing what we know, what you know. Like I've learned a bunch of techniques, you've learned a bunch of things. We share it because hopefully it makes a big difference. And I hope that you can, for the people that are watching this today, I hope that you can try out some of these techniques, see them for yourself, notice what happens, see which ones work the best for you, try them all out and stack them, which is really stacking the deck in your favor, or just try a few out. And then when you see the different results that it gets for you, share it with somebody else. And hopefully we can together make a big difference in the overall emotions that people are feeling during these times.
And do you know what I'm going to do is, as part of the Parenting Live, I do a blog. So all the 6 hacks that you have shared, I will write them up, and so that the readers of the blog, because I've got some people that go to the website and read, some people watch the videos. We're going to make sure that all the information that has been shared by Muneer today, you will be able to read it and you'll be able to access it. There are some other links as well. For example, this link, you will be able to get some free download from this link. Isn't that right, Muneer?
Yeah, so basically, in fact, this talk is probably one of my more popular ones during these times. And so I actually created an ebook using some of the slides from a longer talk that I've done that talks you through these different techniques. So if you go to bit.ly / stress less 2021, stress less 2021, you can basically get the ebook for this talk. In fact, you'll get a couple more techniques in there, plus some extra stuff, so that you can look through and remind yourself about what we talked about, but also have a couple of extra tools, a couple of extra resources that you can go and look into. So definitely check that out. And also, I highly encourage everyone, please do check me out on YouTube, because if you find this useful, I speak about things like this every single day.
Every day he's on Facebook. Listen to me, audience, every day. You will find it, because I think when I get up in the morning, that's when I'm seeing you normally. So I've got all the links. Everything will be shared throughout the Facebook comments, through the YouTube comments. It will be on Instagram, it will be on LinkedIn, it will be on Twitter, and all his connections will be in the blog post, which I share out on all platforms as well. So I'm encouraging you. You've asked for it. We've come up with the solutions. We've come up with things. Don't be, oh yeah, oh it don't work. No, we're asking you to raise your hand. And you know what? Sometimes you might need your children to raise your hand with you to keep it up, so that you can know the strength that you have inside and actually change your physiology to really change your mindset. So thank you so much, Muneer. I'm telling you, I'm just, look, my heart is just overflowing right now, because I just really appreciate you. I appreciate you from the time we met, 2016 at Masters with NLP Life Training. I really, we've just gravitated since that point. And even though we were saying the other day, we may not be in touch, like talking on the phone all the time, but we are supporting what each other's doing. And I really appreciate that from you being an NLP trainer, because then I can always continue to learn, you know, from those that are doing it. And I feel like I'm, you know, I'm still coming up, but I'm also doing it now.
And I, you know, hats off to you. I love what you're doing. I love how you're contributing. I love how you know who you're contributing to. And it's like you said, like, imperfect action beats knowledge on ice any day of the week. And I know that, because when I started doing my lives, I had no idea what I was doing, but I just said, you know what, every single day, I'm just going to take a step forward. And if I make a mistake, I make a mistake. If I get it wrong, I get it wrong. Yeah. And what you said just now is, you're doing. Even if we all have this kind of imposter syndrome of whether we, you know, am I doing it right? Am I good? But the fact, none of that matters as long as you are doing. And I respect you so much for doing so much for others, and others that are in need. So thank you so much for continuing to contribute. And I am so blessed and happy to have you in my life for all these years, and for all the kind of support we've given each other. And anytime I can contribute again to your audience, too.
I will have you back. It's going to be an honor for me to sit down and write about you today, because I will share with the viewers in more detail how we met. And I'm going to be adding some, like, this guy can put anyone out. Yeah, it is. I'm telling you. In a bar, anywhere. Sometimes an event's ended, I'm just standing there like that. But he's got some amazing clips of that. So I wanted to add that into the blog, so that you kind of get an essence of who Muneer really is. He is just a wonderful man. And thank you so much for coming here today. Really, really appreciate it. So
thank you.
We're going to say goodbye to you. But if you could hold on in the backstage for a minute, I'm just going to wrap up the show. Thank you. So there you have it. We've had 6 amazing hacks that you can literally do. You saw me, I was doing them, and I'm telling you, I'm going to be doing them even the more. Things may sound crazy, but just do it anyway, because what you're doing right now may not be working. We've been given some good tools by an expert. Thank you for being here. If you've missed it, don't worry, because I will be reposting this live at 8 p.m. here and on the other platforms. Lots of love to you all. Take care and God bless.